Namaskar and welcome to the latest episode of Sar Utha Ke Jiyo Tales. I am Niharika with you, your host. And at Sar Utha Ke Jiyo Tales, we are all about living with dignity and pride. We are all about bouncing back from adversities, difficulties, and setbacks. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. She captained the under 19 cricket team for Tamil Nadu and simultaneously she also excelled as a swimmer. However, life is unpredictable for all of us. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and so was her life. Yet, her commitment and her dedication were unwavering and unfaltering. Her journey somewhere along the way led her to co-found Soulfree Inspire, a foundation dedicated to supporting those with spinal cord injuries. And today she continues to inspire many people across the globe with her media appearances and talks. Let's all give it up for Preethi Srinivasan. Preethi, hello and welcome to this latest episode of Sar Utha Ke Jiyo Tales. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Namaste, Niharika. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
It's a wonderful episode for us to have you here. So let's start from your childhood, right? What was your childhood like and what were the experiences that shaped you as a person, as an adult and who you are today?
Well, actually, my childhood was totally charmed. I am an only child. I was born to my parents 9 long years after their marriage. They gave me a lot of love. So I was cared for from the beginning. But at the same time, I had a very difficult childhood in the sense that I did a lot of hard work. I started swimming at the age of 3 and I started playing cricket at the age of 4. So from a very young age, I was training 5, 6, 7 hours a day almost. I was a state level gold medalist in swimming, and cricket I got into at the age of 8. I was already in the senior playing 11. So I have played with the greats like Sudasha and Sumati Iyer and so many great people from women's cricket. I have played with them and they have washed my whites and they have been so close with me. So it has been a really charmed existence till the age of 18. Yes.
Right. And facing difficulties pushes us to dig deeper and find inner strength. So what did you do to push through and find your resilience?
When I was 18, it happened. It was a college excursion. I had gone to Pondicherry with a group of my friends. And we were playing in the beach. I started swimming at the age of 3, right? So you would think I know how to handle water, right? We were playing in about thigh-deep water and a receding wave kind of ate the sand under my feet. So I stumbled and I knew I was going to fall. So I dove in face forward. And the moment I went into water, I want to reiterate that I did not hit anything hard. My head didn't get hit onto a rock, but in that very split second, my face went underwater. I felt like a shock-like sensation travel through my body. And in that split second, my life changed altogether. In that split second, I became paralyzed below the neck. So everything everybody takes for granted on a day-to-day basis, sitting, having a bath, eating your own food, everything has become impossible for me since that split second. So it was a very big challenge for sure. So how does one develop resilience? It doesn't happen overnight. I would say that the basis for me is our spiritual roots. I live in a place called Tiruvannamalai, which people may know is a spiritual center. And my parents gave me that undying, unchanging, never once did they blame me for the accident, and they became my hands and legs. Till my father passed away, I never even realized how difficult it is to be a person with disability in India, to be a wheelchair user in India, to be a woman with a disability in India. All these things came later on because they sheltered me and gave me so much love and gave me a chance to heal, which I think is what keeps me going. It gave me the basis of the resilience that you see today.
I just got onto those bits about spirituality and parental support. I think those are very important ingredients, when we're bouncing back and when you're coming out of setbacks. I think without it, it becomes that much more difficult. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, moving on to another aspect of your life, which is Soulfree Inspire. I want to know, what was the motivation to start this?
Soulfree is a public charitable trust. It has been running for more than a decade now. And it started out of dire need. When I returned to Tiruvannamalai, I found that two paralyzed girls, they were paraplegic, not like me. Their hands and fingers were working well. They could cook in the kitchen, they could clean, they could do all the household chores. So my mother said, "You be the change." And I said, "Ma, I can't even take care of myself." I didn't know anything about accounts. I didn't know anything about the law. And running a public charitable trust, running an NGO is not a joke. So it was on that note I started Soulfree. If we want our soul to be free, we have to have the opportunities to lead a life of dignity and purpose. So that is what Soulfree is all about. It's all about giving them a life of dignity and purpose, ensuring that their quality of life is good enough so that they can become productive members of society. And that is where we started.
But to look on the positive side, I'm glad that we're having a conversation around these things. Right, and life lessons, financial wisdom, planning your life, navigating unexpected life challenges. So, for those individuals looking to support people with similar challenges, what are some of the things that they should keep in mind as for you?
For a person with spinal cord injury, at the moment, there is no cure. So it's not like suddenly they're going to stand up and run a marathon, right? They will need constant care. Even after the rehab process is over, we need to stay in touch with them and we need to provide them a lot of time, energy, love, and resources. So that is why spinal cord injury, there are very few organizations working in this area. So if you want to start, you have to think deeply about it. You have to bring a team together that is invested and committed to it. And I would say bring together people who are parents or in some way have been associated, who have seen a person with spinal cord injury so that they know what they're doing.
Absolutely. And speaking of challenges, so your journey has been quite a journey in every respect. Every step of the way, there has been something or the other. And we often talk about life lessons because not everything can be found on the internet, right? Sometimes we've got to learn from real life experiences by having conversations. So, any life lesson that has stuck with you throughout and that is going to remain etched in your mind forever?
Many times people take everything negatively. I have a headache, I blame God for it. I feel that I'm the only one being punished. And so either everything in life is a punishment or everything is a blessing. I have chosen the second path. For me, everything that has happened in my life, including my accident, is a blessing. Everything, if you begin to see everything as a blessing, then the whole world opens up. Then nothing can stop you. I am absolutely blissful here and now. How many people can say that?
I think it's great to count our life by the blessings we have and not our age. I think that's a better way, perhaps. One last thing that is on my mind. What are your future plans? What are you working towards? What encourages you to wake up and seize the day?
Soulfree has 3 major projects coming up in the future. One is called the Soul Voice Learning Institute, where we want to create voice-based jobs and provide home-based financial independence for persons with disability, especially people with spinal cord injury, and those whose hands and finger movements are affected. It's very difficult to make them financially independent. We need trained, sensitized caregivers. So Soulfree actually wants to start a program called Soul Care, where people from high-risk families, like the children of prisoners, people who are acid attack survivors, people who LGBTQ community, these are people who are not getting dignified work, who are finding themselves unemployable. We want to give them a personal care assistant training program for a year where they will have a specialized syllabus, who they will become sensitized to take care of people like us. And at the end of it, they can go and support people in need. This is our second major project. And finally, the Soulfree Shambhala village was my ultimate vision and goal. If my family is not there to take care of me, what happens to me? So the Soulfree Shambhala village is that kind of place where it will be a self-sustaining, inclusive village where people like me can come and live. We will run businesses out of that place that are employing wheelchair users, and we will be independent, and we will create an ecosystem that is so beautiful that it's much bigger than the sum of our parts. That's the goal of the Soulfree Shambhala village. The Soulfree right now, we have outreach programs that are supporting people in their own space, wherever they are with their families, to lead a life of dignity and purpose. The Soulfree Inspire Center is a first of its kind rehabilitation center that provides integrated spinal rehabilitation anywhere in India. If you have sustained a spinal cord injury, or if you know anybody who has sustained a spinal cord injury and is not able to afford paid care, who is living below the line of poverty, here in Tiruvannamalai, we are providing free services that are a first of its kind. And we want to do that wherever people are in need.
I feel this conversation was many, many shades of beautiful, and to a future, to a brighter future ahead, to working together, to being each other's support system. Well, that's it from my side. Thank you so much, Preethi, for joining us on today's episode. Indeed, it was lovely. It was heart-wrenching yet heartwarming. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your story with us.
Thank you so much.
Well, that was Preethi Srinivasan with us on today's episode, and what a lovely conversation we had with her today. It's so important to be able to live with dignity and pride, especially in the later years of our life. So we at HDFC Life get a lot of queries asking us if life insurance is the correct way to plan for your retirement, and also what is the right age to start retirement planning. So let me simplify that for you. A majority of Indians prefer life insurance to fulfill their life goals. And also, it greatly simplifies the process of planning for your retirement. But also, what does retirement planning really mean, right? Very simple. Retirement planning requires you to purchase a retirement plan, which requires you to invest small amounts regularly over a period of time so that you can accumulate a large corpus that can give you steady payments post-retirement. Now, there are different kinds of retirement plans that you could look at. For example, there is the immediate annuity plan, or the deferred annuity plan, or the good old NPS, or National Pension System. So for convenience, you can look up these plans on the HDFC Life website. And in case of any queries, you can write to us on sukjpodcast@hdfclife.com. We'll be very happy to hear from you and also happy to help. And now it's time for me to sign off from this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.